Hi, welcome to the Macedonia Mayor's Report. I'm Mary Kidd, and I'm here with Mayor Nick Molnar, and we have something special for you today. But first, a big announcement that isn't really Macedonia, but affects a lot of Macedonia drivers. The bridge on Route 82 between Sagamore Hills and Brecksville is now open. So if you haven't heard, it's open, and that is huge.
Only one way, though, let's be clear.
For now, yeah, for now. But as of this morning, nobody knew yet, so it was very easy, But we have the Macedonia State of the City address today. So, Mayor Nick Molnar, take it away.
Well, we also have a big snowstorm today, so it's been a crazy day. So I'm kind of going to go over where we are with each department, and I'll start with the building department and want to highlight some of the projects that we have going on and kind of talk about this a little bit. So I'll start with the Holiday Inn project on South Park Drive. The construction is closely monitored, and we watch that throughout the process. Now, we talk often. I see a lot of people say to me that how could you let that project go? Do we need another hotel? Well, in my opinion, no, we don't need another hotel. But in our country, this is what we're built on: is freedom to do whatever we want, as long as we're within the restrictions of what we have for that. So, yes, Holiday Inn will be built. That's no different than the Valley Reserve subdivision off of Twinsburg Road and Valley View. All the rough grading complete. The roads are starting to go into there, so there's a subdivision going into there. A little weird for me. I grew up off of Eileen Drive, so I went by the other day, and my entire life that had been all woods that I played in, much to the not to the happiness of the gentleman that owned it, because I think a few times he came down in the tractor and scolded us for being in there. But we were kids just playing in the woods. It wasn't a big deal. So it's a little tough to see that all gone. But here again, it's what we have the ability to do. Divinity Landing on 10439 Valley View. All the footing and foundations are complete, and the framing is currently underway. Currently, the building department's working on new software for everything, so it's better access to the public. Contractors will be able to register, do their permits online, do electronic submittals. It just helps with the efficiency of the office and what we're doing. And we have the training underway right now, so bear with us as we work through that. But a lot of good stuff happening there, and we'll see where it all goes. So the next one will be our engineering department. So a lot of what people want to know, we talk about this in our council meetings, but I'm going to reiterate it. Each year we go through every 2 years, I'm sorry, an assessment of our roads and the conditions of them. So in that assessment, it determines what roads we're going to do next. Now, sometimes it makes sense to do some roads in a certain area if the numbers are close with that, but it's called the Pavement Condition Rating, PCR. Also, I will point out that the replacement of the storm sewer piping in front of Aldi grocery store, this is the nice thing where our engineering department was proactive. They recognized there was a problem there, went in and corrected it, and now we won't have to worry about a flood on Route 82 because that's a major thoroughfare between our communities, and we don't want that to happen. Some ODOT-related items. They have resurfaced the southern portion of State Route 8, all portions of the Macedonia Commons Boulevard, and ODOT has begun construction at the intersection of Highland and Valley View. Project will create additional turn lanes, install a new traffic signal, improve traffic flow and safety at that intersection. Now, we've talked about this for quite some time. These things take time, they're painful, it's going to be delays. Again, if we live here, and I can't reiterate this enough to everyone who lives here, if you live here, you know where the traffic congestion points are. Avoid those as we're going through the construction. There's nothing I'm going to say to you that's going to make you feel any better about it. There's nothing that's going to make you feel any better about the delay and wherever you were going. My suggestion is, as we're doing this and as the weather improves, I would strongly suggest avoiding that area until this project's complete. When it is complete, there's going to be a better flow of traffic. You're going to have turning lanes on all 4 that we've been working on forever. We got funding for this 5 years ago. We've waited 5 long years because the funding cycles now are 5 years out. So knowing that, it's upcoming. It's going to be good in the end. Fight through the pain with me, all right? Service department. So some of the accomplishments for 2025, we got a new wheel loader for salt storage and aggregates. Doesn't sound exciting to people, but having a piece of equipment that operates correctly and is functioning correctly helps with our efficiency in doing what we do. We have new trades trucks with the ability to haul all trades tools and equipment in one place. You may see some of the pickup trucks with a big goofy thing on the back. It's like a big white box. It gives our service workers the ability to go into the truck, organize their tools efficiently, have everything right there when they need them instead of going back and forth realizing, oh, I forgot this tool or whatever it may be. So a nice thing that we have. One of my most proud things of Director Wilson, what he's accomplished, is more efficient leaf collection systems. We are doing it much more quickly than we've ever done in the past. It's a very well-run system. The equipment that we have is amazing, and it's only going to get better. I mean, we're doing this in record time. Problem we had this year, obviously, snow came early. It stinks, I know, but I think we've gone out and I think we've completed everything up to this point, but if the snow comes early like it did in December, not a whole lot we can do with that. Installation of Samsara fleet tracking system. So it's a forward-facing camera in all salt trucks. What brought this on is we watched the ODOT truck get hit that was on the side of a highway. So ODOT, generally, if you're driving, you'll see them sitting on the side of the highway for inclement weather. They know what's coming. So they're ready, they're on it, right? Well, there's a truck off the side of the road, sitting stationary. A distracted driver with their cell phone was not paying attention, rammed into the plow and said, well, he pulled out in front of me. The Samsara camera showed a little bit different. The gentleman was sitting stationary off the road where he was supposed to be, out of the roadway. The guy was on his phone, wasn't paying attention, hit the plow. There you go. So it's a nice thing that helps us track what we're doing, the mileage, the fleet maintenance, and it's the live tracking of salt trucks where they've been. So we know, like, if we may have missed something. You know, a lot of times I'll get a call where someone will say, well, you hit my mailbox. And we had an example last year where a gentleman had a Ring camera and he said, you know, you hit my mailbox at 4:35 a.m. and here's the video showing it. Well, the video's kind of far away. If you have a Ring camera, you kind of know what that looks like. I'm looking at the video. I said, well, pull up the Samsara. Pull it up on the truck. We didn't hit his mailbox. So it just goes to show we're trying to do things smarter. You know, we're not trying to make things hard on anyone. But it was concerning to me that someone said we hit it. They really didn't know if we hit it. Obviously, the camera showed otherwise. So it's a safety thing. God forbid something happens. Video evidence is everything these days. I mean, you turn on the news, everything's the cell phone cameras and the videos, but we want to make sure that we're tracking what we're doing efficiently for the service of the public. And God forbid something happens, we have something to show what happened. So that's kind of the piece of that. But that flows into the GIS, which is kind of the same thing, just tracking where the trucks are, and we're adding that to our street lights and our map layers. It'll also give us our storm sewer guidance where everything's at. We're trying to put everything into a layered map. It's essentially, you're taking everything that you have, like take a street. So you have storm sewers, you have sanitary sewers, you have electrical, you have gas. All those things can be mapped in GIS to show you exactly where they're at. So you could say, well, you know, the storm sewer is 3 feet below grade, the sanitary is 10 feet below grade, and it'll map out where everything is. So if you ever have a problem, you know, you go to the GIS and it'll show you where everything's at. It's just a positioning thing to show you where everything's at, essentially. Updated fuel tracking system using Fuel Cloud. We track all of our city's fuel usage daily. Again, with the cost of fuel, it's dropping now, which is great. I'm very happy about that. But keeping an eye on that and always being, you know, good stewards of our dollars is going to be a good thing. So we have a better way to track that. We updated the City Hall's elevator, complete overhaul of the electronics and hydraulics. It's been breaking a lot. Hopefully that's not going to be the case anymore, because with what we did, it should resolve that issue. We had seniors getting locked in there. We don't need that. So it was an upgrade that was needed. I believe it was, you know, the elevator was 25 years old, so it was kind of at its useful life. Exterior doors installed in the service department and for the fire department. A lot of doors are rotting out. When the wind would blow, you get a gush of wind inside the building. Probably not the best thing. Putting in a door is not easy. It's something that if you don't know how to do it perfectly, it can cause a lot of problems. Fortunately, we have some skilled workers that know how to do that, and I want to thank them for that, because that saves us a lot of money instead of contracting someone out to do that. Major repairs completed in the Parks Barn at Longwood Park. We have a new jet trailer that allows us to better maintain our storm sewer system. Essentially, a jet trailer, if there's a clog in a culvert, you know, before we'd try to shove a stick in there. Now we have a sewer jet that'll blow a high-pressured water through there to get it out. So if there's some obstruction in there, it's something that we never had. I'm surprised we didn't have it, because I came from the service world and I knew we used those a lot. But it was nice to know that we can have that jet get the whatever's blocking that pipe up and get it out of there and get it flowing again. So it's a nice thing that we can help to prevent people from getting flooded. Ditching, we did 18 ditching jobs. Doesn't sound like a lot. Ditching's a lot of work, shooting the grade, people on the ground, removing earth, and you know, there's a lot that goes into that. So 18 of those is pretty good considering all the other things we do, which I'll talk about a little bit later. We did 9 culvert replacements. We completed almost 600 vehicle repair maintenance requests and just over 800 requests for road and potholes. So service department's busy. but we're kicking butt, and we're going to reward that with a building that's suitable for their operation. So.
When you had just had the groundbreaking before Christmas.
Yeah, we did, and I'm very proud and excited for that. That's a big deal for us. I mean, that's something that's been needed for many, many years. And again, I'll be redundant in this, but you know, that's not a want, that's a need. You know, that the buildings that we're operating now are not conducive to our operations. It's not suitable for what we're doing, and this will only drive us to getting better at what we do to serve the public. So that's what it's all about. Coming soon. On to the IT department. They have updated on-prem data infrastructure. A lot of this stuff came from our IT director that, you know, a lot of this stuff kind of goes over my head. I have a pretty good comprehension of techie stuff, but this stuff is, maybe some people understand, maybe they won't. Migrated multiple on-prem software to the cloud, basically putting things to the cloud instead of storing it onto a device. Implement additional security measures to ensure user and data safety. So basically two-factor authentication. Most people are probably getting familiar with that. If you log into your phone with the password, text you and says, here's a number, put this number in too. Not a bad thing. Pain in the butt, yes. But not a bad thing. And we redesigned the backup infrastructure. So IT's busy, technology's changing every day. There's a lot of things going on in that world, and I'm glad to have those things updated and where we need to be. Finance department, we continue to move towards a paperless department through continued efforts by doing scanning and shredding and getting rid of the old files that we can legally get rid of, and then putting the other ones on to digital files that we can maintain so we can get rid of the paper files. The old adage of just putting stuff in a box and throwing it in a room and sitting there for years and years and years is kind of going away. So we look to scan new project binders, and we have third-party service contracts and quotes to purchase other services and materials to help with that as well. So good stuff with that. All right, now finance. Oh, major projects for finance. 2025 was the rebuilding of the financial software and records, looking for ways to avoid those problems in the future. That's going to help accomplish that. And they are looking to make other use of their financial software better for other departments, so it's more streamlined, and they're working on that right now. A lot of the stuff that they're doing is very complicated, and you have to be in the financial world, but fortunately, we have a really good finance director that understands all that and is very good and is very tenured in what he does. So I'm very confident in what they're doing, and in the benefits to everyone across the board will be huge. So looking forward to more on that. Fire department. So total number of incidents this year compared to last year of October 20th when this was ran. October 20th, 2023 was 3,533. October 20th, 2024 was 3,688, or a 4% increase. October 20th, 2025 was 3,973, which is an 8% increase. So the fire department's very busy. I'm sure people hear the sirens. It's only getting busier. We're here to serve. I think our fire department's amazing at what they do to get to people when you're in need. God forbid you need them, they're going to be there very quickly. So I can't say enough about their efforts to help the public, and not only the police department too, but we'll get to them in a minute as well. Some of the incidents we've had, we had a commercial fire at 8146 Bavaria Road. Fortunately, there was no structural damage and no cost from the insurance company or equipment damage, so we were able to get there quickly and get that taken care of. We did have a residential fire at 7699 North Gannett, which is in Sagamore Hills. Remember, we serve Sagamore Hills and Northfield Center. That was a total loss of the home. By the time we got there, it was completely engulfed. So it was a bad fire. But the number of incidents this year that happened at the same time overlapping, 224 incidents, 5.5% of all incidents happened at the same time. So it's tough when we get a lot of calls all at once. That's where the benefit of having the other communities in our realm help with that, because if they have more calls or we have more calls, we can help to assist each other. It's a good unity of the communities to use the fire service, so we're proud of that as well. Drone team activation. So I want to talk a little bit about them and where they're at. So Assistant Chief Zielinski has worked very hard to get our drone team where it's at. We have a drone vehicle. It can be used for a multitude of things. I believe I've talked about it before, but I was in a training session with them where they were showing the abilities that the drones can do. So if there's a fire in a home, instead of sending a human being into a home, we can send a drone into the home. And they had goggles on where the drone would go in and it could look around to see if there was anyone in the house. Now granted, if there's a lot of smoke or fire, it's awfully difficult, but if we could send a drone in, That's what we want to do first. The last thing I ever want to do is send a human being into something that could be a dangerous situation, and the drone will give a better picture of all that. So very proud of what they've done. It's servicing all Nordonia Hills and Summit County and adjacent counties now. So the drone team is composed of a total of 10 members, 5 firefighters, 4 police officers, and all are FAA Part 107 certified remote pilots. So you have to be a certified pilot to fly a drone. Seems easy, you just put a drone up in the air and fly. It's not that simple. But we currently own 9 unmanned aircraft systems. They're really robust. They're really for safety. You know, we've used them for if there was some bad people on the run. You know, we've located them in the woods. It can get the heat signature. I mean, there's so much we can use these for. I know there was one instance where there was a gentleman that was lost in a river somewhere, and they were using that to try and find him, and I believe it helped to assist with that too. So there's so many different uses for a drone where you can take the human element out of it to keep them safe, to where you can just put the drone in there and go find out what's going on. So really, really good. So in 2024, we had 28 calls for service. 2025, as of October, we had 32, and good stuff. So as I mentioned too, we have a transit van. It's a dedicated response vehicle for the drone team. It's an amazing piece of equipment. It's also also being used as like if there's a problem, it's our centralized area for when we have a command. So command central. Sagamore Equipment, they purchased a 2023 Pierce International Commercial Chassis engine, which replaces a 2000 Pierce Sabre engine. Then promotions in July of 25, Lieutenant Dave Aberth accepted a full-time inspector position, replacing Rich Kalish, who retired. Caused the vacancy of lieutenant on shift, and we are currently in the promotional process, and I believe we've already put that person in place, but I'll wait to talk about that in our next meeting. Our police department. So, police are very busy as well. When we talk about safety forces, again, I'm proud of where we are in terms of our safety. I want everyone to know that if you live in this community, we have the best of the best working on this, and we want you to feel safe wherever you go, wherever you live, wherever you shop, whatever you do. So they received a $32,000 grant in funding to operate a saturation patrol to reduce fatal accidents within the city. We also participated in the Summit County Impaired Driving Reduction Initiative, which was also federally funded. In 2025, the department implemented the use of body-worn cameras, which would be interfaced with the in-car cameras early in 26. Believe it or not, we did not have the cameras that they were on their chest, and we now will have those going forward. Again, with everything going on in society, anyone turns on the news, you know what's going on. You got to have that protection to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and if the bad guys are doing something bad, we have evidence of showing what they're doing. So we've expanded our community policing efforts, and we intend to continue to grow in 26. The major expansion in this area was the addition of a full-time SRO at Ledgeview, and we continue to struggle with hiring. It's a national trend, but we're broadening our recruitment efforts, and we hope that will pay dividends in 26. So the policing world is very difficult right now. Not a lot of people are going into the police world, which makes our jobs much more difficult, but if we make it attractive and we make it a place where you desire to work, it's a great place to be. So working on that. Last but not least, I kept the bus fun one for last. So Parks and Rec Department. So we have a new 1-mile paved trail around Longwood Park. I can't say enough about that. I've heard nothing but amazing things about it. Anyone that goes to the park and wants to walk their dog or do whatever they want to do on that, run or jog or just see the park, it's an amazing thing. I've heard nothing but amazing things. And don't forget, we also have our trails back in the woods too. So I know that in our downtimes, probably in the early spring, we're going to put more grindings down to build it up so it's not soggy in certain areas. But I kind of like the woods myself. It's kind of peaceful and quiet, but whatever you want, we have a lot of amenities in that park. And we're going for that gold medal award this year, so hopefully we win that one. Major renovation projects at the rec center are currently in progress. An additional 3 administrative offices, a family locker room renovation with an addition of 4 locker pods, each with a shower, sink, and toilet. Been a long time coming. As we've done our upgrades at that facility, we didn't want to do everything at once. This one was delayed because we've done so much over such little time that we wanted to delay that one. So this one I think will be complete in early February. So the family changing area we've talked about forever. If you were excited about that or want that, it's coming very soon. I got a sneak peek the other day, and I could tell you it's going to be very nice. It's a very nice facility we have there. So our events, we had Fall Fest, Winter Fest, and Spring Fest is upcoming. And I'm going to announce it today. Our summer program will be back in 26. Now, we're not going to call it Summerfest. We're reimagining the whole thing, and I want to put it out there now because I want to dispel all rumors and misnomers of what this is about. When we do our events, we have put restrictions on them for a number of different reasons. Obviously, what took place a couple summers ago was very difficult. We can't allow that to happen again. But what we also realize is we can't handle that number of people in our park at any given time. So our restrictions are going to be, if you are under the age of 18, you need to be accompanied by a parent or guardian. If you do not live in the Nordonia communities, we are not welcoming them to the events at this point. Again, if you take Winterfest as an example, we were able to accommodate everyone to go see Santa. It was a crowd that was manageable, that we could have go and do all the activities we had, and it worked out very well. I've heard people sling a whole lot of other stuff out there. Untrue, inappropriate, and stop saying that stuff. What we are doing is what we can do for our community to serve our community and what we feel we can reasonably do to keep everyone safe there. So if you got questions about that, call me. We'll talk about it. I'm more than open to talk more about what we're doing and why we're doing it, but a lot of it comes back to one simple thing. We're a small community. I cannot have, 20,000 people bombard our park and expect to keep everyone safe when I don't have the resources to do that. What I can handle is if we do just Nordonia Hills, we can handle that crowd. And we've proven that, and that's what our test was with the Fall Fest, with the Winter Fest, and the Spring Fest will be. We've kind of convinced ourselves that that's where we need to be, and that's what we're going to do moving forward. So again, if you have questions about that, I'm more than willing to talk about it. If you have thoughts on that, call me up. We'll talk. So more to come on that. Last but not least, one of my most proud things that we do in the community is our lights. If you didn't get to see our winter lights at Longwood Park, you have missed out. I am beyond ecstatic of how much it's grown. I'm excited for the future of what we're going to do even more than we did before. And next year is going to be even better. So every year we grow, we're running out of space. I don't even know how much more we can do. But it's such a nice thing when people say, some of the weather was terrible, and I was going through some personal things, but I got to drive through your lights, and that just made my whole day. And that, to me, warms my heart. That tells me we're serving our public, we're doing something that they enjoy, and I want to do more stuff like that. I want to build on our strengths. I don't want to focus on all of our weaknesses, and that's what we're going to be doing in 2026.
Well, there's a lot of positives there. So I think anyone working or living in Macedonia should be proud.
Yeah, I strive for that. I mean, everything we do is to serve our community, and if you have ideas of something more than that, let us know. We're always open to listen and talk and get better. I mean, I preach continuous improvement. I came from the corporate world, so you're going to hear corporate talk out of me, but I recognize that they don't gel all the time. But we can have some of that here in the community.
Excellent, and thank you for that address.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And we will see you next time. Thanks for watching.